Local church is devastated after one of their workers is killed, and police say the suspect is her husband.
The church told us he also worked there.
There's no way to even wrap one's mind around that, to even see that that would be in the realm of the possible. It doesn't seem real. It seems like a very bad nightmare. There was literally no sign that would indicate that there was any trouble.
Nigga, you can get it. The White Lewis, I'm talking to you. I swear to God, nigga, I'll have my nephew bring me to your motherfucking house and I'll beat because you know you don't want these problems.
On January 8, 2018, Tanisha Harris, a devoted associate pastor at Repairers, Kansas City, left her job at an Overland Park bank for lunch and never returned. Hours later, her husband, Robert Lee Harris, a church elder, called 911 to report her missing. But when police arrived at their apartment, they found red stains on the carpet, shattered glass, and Robert alone, calm, collected, and with a story that didn't quite make sense. As investigators began to piece together the timeline, they uncovered a series of suspicious purchases: a trash can, plastic bags, carpet cleaner, and a filleting knife, all bought by Robert that very morning. What was he planning? And why did he suddenly confess to knowing something about his wife's disappearance? The answers would lead to a chilling discovery that would shock their church community and leave everyone asking, how could a man of faith be capable of such a crime? This is the haunting story of Tanisha Harris's disappearance, a case that unraveled a web of secrets, lies, and a betrayal no one saw coming. Welcome to True Crime Tales HQ, where we uncover the truth behind the most gripping true crime stories. Today we're diving into the tragic case of Tanisha Harris, a story that shocked a tight-knit church community and left everyone questioning how such a horrific crime could happen behind closed doors. As we unravel the details of this case, I want to hear from you. What do you think led to this unthinkable act? Was it a moment of rage, a calculated plan, or something deeper hidden beneath the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading every single one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Let's get started. In the heart of Kansas City, Missouri, there was a church that stood as a beacon of hope and faith, Repairers, Kansas City. Among its leaders were two individuals who seemed to embody the very essence of devotion and love: Tanisha Harris and Robert Lee Harris. To their congregation, they were more than just leaders. They were symbols of faith, unity, and unwavering commitment. But who were they really? Let's take a closer look at the lives of these two individuals, whose story would soon take a tragic and unimaginable turn. Tanisha Harris, a vibrant 38-year-old associate pastor, was the kind of person who left a lasting impression on everyone she met. She had a radiant smile, a warm presence, and a gift for connecting with people. Her sermons were filled with passion and simplicity, often drawing from her own life experiences to inspire others. Outside of the church, Tanisha worked at a bank in Overland Park, where she was known for her diligence and kindness. She was a mother to a young daughter, Alex, from a previous relationship, and those who knew her described her as a devoted parent who balanced her faith, career, and family with grace. Robert Lee Harris, at 30 years old, was an elder at Repairers, Kansas City. He was a man who carried himself with a quiet confidence, someone who seemed to have his life together. A former U.S. Army veteran, Robert had served in South Korea and later relocated to Kansas City after being honorably discharged. He found his calling at Repairers KC, where he quickly rose to become a respected leader. Robert was known for his deep voice, his ability to preach with conviction, and his dedication to the church's mission. Like Tanisha, he was also a parent with a daughter from a previous marriage. Their love story began within the walls of the very church they served. They met, bonded over their shared faith, and soon became inseparable. In July 2016, surrounded by family, friends, and their church community, they exchanged vows in a beautiful ceremony officiated by their pastor, Carlton Funderburk. To everyone who knew them, they were the picture of a perfect couple, loving, devoted, and deeply committed to their faith in each other. Their social media pages were filled with photos of them smiling, preaching, and spending time with their blended family. They were pillars of their church, actively involved in its ministries, and seen as role models for others in the community. But behind the public image of this seemingly idyllic marriage, there were cracks that few could see. While Tanisha was known for her openness and warmth, Robert was more reserved, often keeping his emotions close to his chest. Those who worked closely with him at the church admired his dedication, but some noticed a subtle tension in his demeanor, a side of him that rarely surfaced in public. And then there was the affair, a secret relationship that would later come to light, shattering the illusion of their perfect marriage. As we peel back the layers of their lives, we begin to see a story far more complex, and far more tragic, than anyone could have imagined. This is the story of Tanisha Harris, a woman whose light was extinguished far too soon, and the man who stood beside her, now accused of her murder. A story that forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, the people we trust the most are the ones capable of the greatest betrayal. January 8, 2018, began like any other day for Tanisha Harris. She woke up early, prepared for work, and kissed her husband, Robert, goodbye before heading to her job at the bank in Overland Park. By all accounts, it was a normal morning. But by the end of the day, Tanisha would vanish without a trace, and the events that unfolded would leave a community in shock and a husband under suspicion. At 11:44 a.m., Tanisha clocked out for her lunch break. She was seen leaving the bank, her cheerful demeanor unchanged. But she never returned. Hours passed and her co-workers grew concerned. Calls to her phone went unanswered. By the time her shift ended, Tanisha was officially missing. Meanwhile, back at the couple's apartment in the 8000 block of Perry Street, something was unfolding that would soon draw the attention of law enforcement. Around 4 p.m., Overland Park police received a call about a domestic disturbance at the Harris residence. When officers arrived, they found Robert alone in the apartment. He was calm, almost eerily so, as he explained that everything was fine. But the scene told a different story. Red stains were smeared across the carpet, and shards of broken glass were scattered near the doorway. When asked about Tanisha, Robert claimed she wasn't home. The officers left, but their suspicions lingered. Hours later, at 8:30 p.m., Robert called 911 again, this time to report his wife missing. He told police he had last seen her that morning and had no idea where she could be. But his story didn't add up. Why hadn't he reported her missing earlier? And what had happened in the apartment that afternoon? As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a series of alarming details. Earlier that day, Robert had made multiple trips to a nearby Walmart. Surveillance footage showed him purchasing a large trash can, plastic bags, carpet cleaner, and a filleting knife. These purchases, made just hours before Tanisha disappeared, raised immediate red flags. What was Robert planning? And why did he need these items on the very day his wife vanished? But the most damning revelation came during questioning. Robert, under increasing pressure, admitted that he had played a role in Tanisha's disappearance. He claimed he didn't know where she was, but his calm demeanor and the evidence stacking up against him told a different story. Investigators now had a suspect, but they still needed to find Tanisha. The search led them to Raymore, Missouri, nearly 20 miles away. In the early hours of January 10, 2018, Tanisha's body was discovered in a remote field, wrapped in a black garbage bag. The woman who had once brought so much light to her community was gone, and the man who had vowed to love and cherish her was now the prime suspect in her murder. What happened inside that apartment on January 8th? What drove Robert to commit such a horrific act? And how did a man of faith become the center of a murder investigation? The answers to these questions would unravel a story of betrayal, secrets, and a crime that would leave a community forever scarred. As the investigation into Tanisha Harris's disappearance intensified, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, and each one pointed directly at Robert Lee Harris. What started as a missing persons case quickly turned into a full-blown murder investigation, uncovering secrets that would shock even the most seasoned detectives. It began with Robert's confession. Under the weight of mounting evidence and relentless questioning, he admitted to having a role in Tanisha's disappearance. But he stopped short of providing all the answers. Where was Tanisha? What had happened inside their apartment? Investigators needed more, and they would soon find it, in a field in Raymore, Missouri. In the early hours of January 10, 2018, Tanisha's body was discovered, wrapped in a black garbage bag. The scene was haunting, a stark contrast to the vibrant woman she had been. An autopsy revealed the grim truth. Tanisha had died by strangulation. There were also signs of head trauma, though not fatal, suggesting a violent struggle. The woman who had once stood at the pulpit, inspiring her congregation, had been silenced in the most brutal way. But the evidence didn't stop there. Investigators traced Robert's movements on the day of Tanisha's disappearance, uncovering a chilling trail. Surveillance footage from Walmart showed him purchasing a trash can, plastic bags, carpet cleaner, and a filleting knife, items that took on a sinister meaning in light of the crime. Receipts and timestamps placed him at the store multiple times that morning, just hours before Tanisha vanished. What was he planning? And why did he need these items on the very day his wife went missing? As the case moved to trial, more shocking details emerged. One of the most damning revelations came from a man named Stephen Jr., who testified about his affair with Robert.
You know he don't want to catch these hands, pussy. You talking all tough under somebody status, bitch, nigga. Pull up, nigga. I don't need you to pull up. I'm gonna have my nephew bring me to your house. I'm gonna have my nephew. What's up, nigga?
Then he justified why he had decided to testify against Robert in court.
I thought I was doing the right thing because I was inappropriate with Robert. I did have, so I thought I want justice for Tanisha just as well because nobody can understand the way I feel. Because I'm thinking, before any report came out, nigga, I'm thinking this is my fault. So I done lost my house, I done lost my job, I done lost my car. Bitch, don't know that. So let me make this very clear. Any bitch nigga that pull up on me, nigga, ain't no hands catching. I ain't fighting no nigga. I will swear to God, nigga.
And then he claimed that he'd done a favor to Tanisha by testifying against Robert, and people were still blaming him instead of applauding his bravery. Not to mention that he was also putting his own reputation at stake by spilling the beans.
Y'all mad, bitch? I did her a motherfucking favor. I testified, and being honest, so motherfucker could get justice, and you bitches gon' come for me. What's up, nigga? No, what's up? I'm feeling bad because I feel like this woman need justice for her death, and you motherfucker gon' come for me, and I didn't motherfucking testify.
Steven,
I swear to God, bitch, I can die tonight on my motherfucking mama. That's real motherfucking talk. Nobody understand what the I'm going through. This woman should not have lost her motherfucking life, and you bitches gon' come for me, and I'm the one who was honest, who came for it, and testify.
And then he started to spill the beans about the indecent things that went on inside the church. He claimed that whoever testified in favor of Robert that day was actually romantically or physically involved with him and hadn't dared to testify against him. But Stephen cared about Tanisha getting justice, so he admitted his involvement with Robert fearlessly.
I'm so sick of motherfuckers hiding behind shit. I was honest. All these other niggas you taking pictures with, them the same niggas that was also taking his big black dick. And ain't none of them niggas came forward. Ain't none of them niggas being honest. Bitch, I was honest because I want justice for this woman. Now I don't have no motherfucking sympathy, bitch. It's war. What's up? I'm ready. But take me out, bitch. I've lost everything because I felt some kind of way about this woman being murdered. Bitch, I lost everything thing because I felt some kind of way about this woman being taken. Everybody knew what Robert was doing because so much shit had came out before she married him. She already knew what this nigga was doing. I just want somebody to pull up on me. That's all I want. He didn't kill her because of his motherfucking quality. He killed her for money. So why you listen to somebody who done posted one motherfucking status? I want justice for this woman just like the next, just like her mama do, just like her daddy do, just like her sisters do. And I testify. I'm the only one that came out and was honest about what was going on. And then people are coming for me when I'm trying to get justice too. They got me all twisted in the game. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done.
The two had been in a romantic relationship for nearly a year, a secret that had been hidden from Tanisha and the church community. Stephen's testimony painted a picture of a man living a double life, a church elder by day, entangled in a web of deception by night. But perhaps the most heartbreaking detail was this: Stephen had considered Tanisha a friend. He never imagined his relationship with Robert would end in such tragedy. Neighbors also came forward, recounting what they had heard and seen on the day of the crime. One neighbor who lived directly below the Harris apartment reported hearing loud noises, thuds and crashes, between 2 and 3:30 p.m. Another described calling the apartment management to report a domestic disturbance. When police arrived, they found Robert alone, the apartment in disarray and red stains on the carpet. But it wasn't until hours later, when Robert called to report Tanisha missing, that the full scope of the investigation began to unfold. Just when investigators thought they had the full story, another bombshell dropped. Robert's calm demeanor during questioning, his suspicious purchases, and his affair all pointed to a calculated act. But what drove him to kill the woman he had vowed to love and protect? Was it jealousy, rage, or something far more sinister? The answers would come during the trial, as the prosecution pieced together a case that would leave no doubt about Robert's guilt. This was no longer just a story about a missing pastor. It was a story of betrayal, deception, and a crime that shattered the lives of everyone involved. And as the trial unfolded, the truth would finally come to light, revealing a darkness no one had seen coming. The trial of Robert Lee Harris was not just a legal proceeding, it was a reckoning. A chance for justice to be served for Tanisha Harris, the beloved associate pastor whose life was tragically cut short. As the courtroom filled with family, friends, and members of the Repairers Kansas City congregation, the weight of the case hung heavy in the air. This was more than a trial, it was a search for answers, for closure, and for the truth. The prosecution built their case with precision, presenting a mountain of evidence that left little room for doubt. They highlighted Robert's suspicious behavior on the day of Tanisha's disappearance, his multiple trips to Walmart, the purchases of a trash can, plastic bags, carpet cleaner, and a filleting knife. They pointed to the red stains on the carpet, the broken glass, and the eerie calm with which Robert had reported his wife missing. And then there was the affair, the secret relationship with Stephen Jr., which shattered the image of Robert as a devoted husband and church elder. Stephen Jr.'s testimony was one of the trial's most emotional moments. He took the stand, his voice trembling as he recounted his relationship with Robert. He spoke of the guilt he felt, knowing that his affair had played a role in the unraveling of Tanisha's marriage. But he also made it clear, he wanted justice for Tanisha, the woman he had considered a friend. His words painted a picture of a man who had lived a double life, a man who had betrayed not only his wife but also the trust of his church community. The defense, on the other hand, struggled to counter the prosecution's case. They argued that there was no direct evidence linking Robert to Tanisha's murder, no eyewitnesses, no murder weapon. They painted Robert as a man of faith, a devoted husband who had been wrongfully accused. But their arguments fell flat in the face of the overwhelming evidence. The jury saw through the defense's claims, and after hours of deliberation, they reached a verdict. On August 19, 2019, Robert Lee Harris was found guilty of first-degree murder. The courtroom erupted in a mix of emotions, relief, sorrow, and anger. Tanisha's family, who had sat through every agonizing moment of the trial, finally felt a sense of justice. But for them it was bittersweet. No verdict could bring Tanisha back. The sentencing phase was equally emotional. On November 3, 2019, Robert stood before the judge, his fate sealed. He was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 50 years. As the judge delivered the sentence, Tanisha's family wept quietly in the gallery. For them, it was a small measure of closure, but the pain of losing Tanisha would never fully go away. Outside the courtroom, Pastor Carlton Funderburk, who had married the couple just 3 years earlier, spoke to reporters.
This loss is profound and utterly indescribable. There's no way to even wrap one's mind around that, to even see that that would be in the realm of the possible. It doesn't seem real. It seems like a very bad nightmare. To hear the news of this and there to be any allegation that he's involved makes the blow even all the more deep.
His voice was heavy with grief as he reflected on the tragedy. They were a loving couple, he said. They were very involved, very engaged in the church. This is a loss that will be felt for a long time. The trial may have ended, but the questions lingered. How could a man of faith, a church elder, commit such a horrific act? What drove Robert to betray the woman he had vowed to love and protect? And what does this say about the masks we wear, the secrets we keep, and the darkness that can lurk behind even the most polished facades? This is the story of Tanisha Harris, a story of love, betrayal, and a tragedy that shook a community to its core. And as we reflect on her life and the trial that followed, we are reminded of the importance of seeking the truth, no matter how painful it may be. The conviction of Robert Lee Harris brought a measure of justice, but for the congregation of Repairers Kansas City, the scars of this tragedy ran deep. The church, once a place of hope and unity, now grappled with the unimaginable. One of their own, a trusted elder, had committed an unthinkable act. The shockwaves of Tanisha's murder reverberated through the community, leaving behind a trail of grief, anger, and unanswered questions. Pastor Carlton Funderburk, who had officiated Tanisha and Robert's wedding just 3 years earlier, found himself at the center of the storm. In the aftermath of the trial, Funderburk made headlines for his controversial statements. In a now viral video, he lashed out at his congregation, calling them broke, busted, and disgusted for not honoring him with expensive gifts like a Movado watch. His words sparked outrage, with many accusing him of being out of touch with the pain his congregation was feeling. Funderburk later apologized, but the damage was done. The church, already reeling from the tragedy, now faced internal turmoil. Yet, amid the pain, there were glimmers of hope. The community rallied around Tanisha's 9-year-old daughter, Alex, who had lost her mother in the most devastating way. A fundraiser, the Tanisha Love Memorial Fund, was established to support Alex's future. Donations poured in from friends, family, and even strangers who had been moved by Tanisha's story. It was a testament to the love and compassion that Tanisha had always shown others, a legacy that would live on through her daughter. As the dust settled, the case of Tanisha Harris forced the community, and the world, to confront difficult truths. Domestic violence, often hidden behind closed doors, can affect anyone regardless of their faith, status, or public image. The dangers of idealizing public figures became painfully clear. Robert Lee Harris, a man who had been seen as a pillar of the church, was capable of a heinous crime. It was a stark reminder that no one is immune to the darkness that can reside within. Tanisha's story also highlighted the importance of paying attention to the signs, those subtle cracks in a seemingly perfect facade. The loud noises neighbors heard that day, the red stains on the carpet, the suspicious Walmart purchases, all were clues that something was terribly wrong. Yet, in the moment, they were overlooked or dismissed. How many times do we ignore the warning signs in our own lives, choosing to believe the image rather than the reality? This is the legacy of Tanisha Harris. A life cut short, a community forever changed, and a story that challenges us to look beyond the surface. To seek the truth no matter how painful. And to remember that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope. Hope for justice, for healing, and for a future where no one has to suffer in silence. Tanisha Harris's life was tragically cut short, but her story serves as a powerful reminder to look beyond the surface and seek the truth. It challenges us to pay attention to the signs, to speak up when something feels wrong, and to remember that even those we trust the most can hide the darkest secrets. Her legacy lives on through her daughter, Alex, and through the lessons we can all take from this heartbreaking case. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories that delve into the complexities of human nature and the pursuit of justice. We want to hear from you. What do you think drove Robert to commit such a horrific crime? Was it jealousy, rage, or something deeper? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And stay tuned for our next video, where we uncover another shocking true crime story that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Until then, remember, the truth is often hidden, but it's always worth seeking. Thank you for watching.